Let's talk investment in citizenship. With the new government in power, are Nigerians, particularly the elite, still keen on securing citizenship overseas? Got fuel subsidies removed, exchange rate liberalized. The intention of investors has been tuned to Nigeria. So is the incentive to leave still there? Jane Kimemia, did I pronounce that right?
Yes, you're right.
Thank you so much. Is the managing director of Optiva Capital Partners. They provide, I think, immigration solutions, right, to a number of folks that are looking to invest in citizenship overseas. So great stuff. So yeah, thank you for joining us. I've been meaning to ask one of the folks in this space that play in this space whether there is still an incentive, I guess, to get a citizenship overseas when you've got all this attention on Nigeria now, and I guess optimism around investing in Nigeria. What do you think?
All right. Thanks for having me. I think there's a general misconception about investment immigration, where generally people think about it in terms of immigration, actually leaving the country. But investment immigration generally, they're different. What are the reasons why people look for opportunities? First of all, let's talk about investment immigration in general. So you've got two general categories. You've got investment immigration, where it is citizenship by investment. So these are countries that grant the applicants citizenship outright, obviously by investing. So they get citizenship, they get passports of that particular country. Then you've got countries in the core West. So you're looking at the US, you're looking at Canada, and the rest of Europe, where it doesn't matter how much you invest, they will not give you outright citizenship. So they'll be giving you residency by investment, and the clients have to work towards citizenship. So when you look at, is there an incentive still to, what are the reasons behind, investment immigration, second passports, second citizenship, or permanent residency? You're looking at not necessarily immigration. Immigration is one of the aspects to it, but there's global access. And that's really big, especially for investment immigration, because our clients are established. They'll be established Nigerians. They're in business. They're executives. So they're very comfortable, but they're looking for global access. They're looking for global acceptance. They're looking for, Nigerians are global. Nigerians are the most global of Africans. So, in terms of children's education, healthcare, access to opportunities for trade, to do business. So this continues to be a need, children's education, global access. So even with investments coming into Nigeria, there are still needs for which investment immigration provides solutions. So there's still incentive because there's a need, absolutely.
All right, thanks for breaking that down.
Yes.
So all throughout today, we've been talking about how the exchange rate has increased costs for various things, right? The Abuja Disco, for instance, saying that it's going to change the price of tariffs based on the guidelines, or rather the exchange rate used for gas generation and so on for per dollar, going from 442 to 750. You've got customs saying that the exchange rate used for bringing goods into Nigeria from 440 to I think about 589, right? So you've got the exchange for where you are, because we understand that if you're going to invest in getting a global access or a citizenship to another country, you're paying in excess of hundreds of thousands of dollars for the passport. Does the costs obviously now change in terms of the exchange rates for a Nigerian who wants to get that investment overseas? Doesn't it go up?
First of all, yes, I'd like to congratulate the government. I think it's a really bold move towards eventual stabilization and predictability of the currency. So what it looks like, there's going to be temporary dislocation, but eventually, and you're talking about in the short to medium term, but eventually there's going to be a level that we achieve in terms of stability and predictability of the currency and the exchange between the dollar and the rest of the hard currencies with the naira. So when it comes to the cost of citizenship by investment of permanent residency, I choose to look at value. What is the value that our clients are looking for? Children's education, for example. In fact, investment immigration becomes a vehicle, first of all, for our clients to protect, to grow, to enhance, to diversify their wealth. Why do I say this? As an international, looking at, take for example, somebody who's looking for permanent residency or investing into some programs in Canada, their children's education, take for example, University of Toronto, international students for a course, Bachelor of Science, they'll be paying about $60,000 annually.
Yep.
But as permanent residents, they would be paying $6,000.
Right.
So international students pay up to even 12 times of what the residents pay. So Nigerians have access the same health, education, healthcare at a cost, at basically a fraction of what they would have been spending.
Right.
So at Optiva Capital Partners, what we are doing, we are helping our clients save on what they'd have been spending anyway, because Nigerians are global. They're spending on children's education, but they're going to spend a fraction. So we are saving that currency, the scarce foreign exchange that comes back into developing Nigeria. So we are looking at value, we are looking at cost, we are looking at the value across generations as well. So you get second citizenship or permanent residency. It does not stop you from continuing to do your business, continuing to grow Nigeria. It gives you global access, opportunities to do business. So fine, with the currency unification, this temporary dislocation, but the expectation that it's going to settle. But we are looking at what is the value that our clients are looking for. Because they're already spending. Children are already, Nigerians' children are studying all over the world, anywhere you go to. They're looking for healthcare, opportunities for doing business. So they're already spending, but for us, it's about the value, the saving, and the investment. So we don't look at this as a spend, it's an investment, and it's a saving.
Now, so, it's interesting because our last conversation was literally about education and the amount of FX going outside the country, right? And trying to develop the education sector locally here. So at this time, and I understand, the sector that you're playing, your clients are, high network folks, but is this still a conversation around the elites and the wealthy having an escape route from the country? And what about the average Nigerian who is probably watching this right now and saying, I'm trying to deal with, costs here going up, and yet the wealthiest people still have another escape route to leave?
Yes, I think that's an interesting conversation, but not necessarily.
Okay.
Let me tell you, there are very many different options or different ways or different avenues of global access and immigration.
Okay.
Optiva Capital Partners specializes in investments immigration. Let me give you an example. Canada, you've got up to 80 ways that people can immigrate into Canada. Skilled workers, you've got education, basically going in for further education. You've got the provincial programs, the nominee programs. You've got the startup programs. So there's, and in each one of these provinces, there are different diversity of, when it's education, there are employers that would have quotas to actually get international citizens actually going into Canada. So it's not necessarily just for the wealthy, but investments immigration by nature, they are government designated programs where you're investing. If you're investing in Canada, it will be $165,000, but you've got different ways. There are people who virtually immigrate into Canada free.
Right.
So it's just the same way you'd want to buy, there are different options. If you want to buy a car, it's for movement, it's to take you from one place to another, but there are different options of what are you getting into, what is convenient for you, what is affordable for you. So for us, in terms of investment immigration, which is our area of specialization at Optiva Capital Partners, it's for clients who are investing into government designated programs in exchange for permanent residency, for citizenship and global access, and this is an investment. So there are different ways you can actually do this. So it's not necessarily just for the wealthy Nigerians, but there are different categories depending on what is suitable for any family that is looking into doing this.
Fair enough. Great conversation. Jane Kimemia, MD of Optiva Capital Partners, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.